What's up? What's up, people? All right, sorry, fixing my hookah. How's everybody doing today? Let me check this. Yep, you guys can see me. You can see this, everything. How's everybody doing? I know you guys probably miss me. I miss you guys a whole lot. Let me say hi, Jeffrey, my number one. How are you, brother? I see your Cowboys are doing fantastic with Rush. Um, Good luck to Prescott. Much love to you, brother. Uh, my jam bams, as always. Hanzo, good luck at work. um, let's see. What else do we got here? We got Kim A. How are you, my friend? Sorry, guys. I'm still under the allergies. It's just crazy weather for us here in Cincinnati. Sorry. And thank you. Um, Tim Tuna. It's always great news. It's always great news. Shirley, our guys, baby is back. I missed you guys more. Thank you so much, Shirley. I am nothing without you guys. Good afternoon, AB. Glad to have the day off to catch you live, a legit one. Well, that's an honor for me, Mrs. Veronica. Um, all right. So, guys, this is what we're gonna go over. We're gonna go over just to re-strengthen. I've seen all the crazy FUD lately, and hopefully we were gonna walk out of this with a lot more, with a much more sturdy footstep forward. We're gonna go over the this interview, specifically this one from Yahoo Finance. I want to react to it. I want everybody to remember this. A lot of people have forgotten about this. It was about 2 months ago, but it's probably one of the most recent ones, and it's very important because it's going to go into a lot of what I'm going to talk about. So we're going to just react to this interview together. Then we're going to look at this fine chart, and once again make the case, and I'll tell you guys what we're in the store for in a few weeks. And then I want to start off with this, to what I talked about in yesterday's video about 3 months ago in July, when there was a lot of talk about the pounds and everything and all that stuff. And what I said I would love to see out of AMC. And as you guys heard as of late from the Netflix, that Netflix is going to start airing out their certain movies for a special window in AMC theaters. That just came out last week or this week. Gotta love French press. And now, about 3 months ago, yet again, your one and only AB predicted this. And I still have no idea how shills can come around and at least sometimes from time to time come over to AB's zone. I can understand in some other places because it's nothing but hopiism that is being sold. But when someone makes opinions or predictions at times and they come true more often, you gotta give him just a little bit of credit, okay? So let's start with this first before I start with that. It's just a proof to show the world and the people that 3 months ago, as you can see on this screen, July 22nd, on my screen, July 25th, what exactly I said back then. Let's see. First, let me know if you guys could hear. And this is besides the pounds. I don't think this is the pounds. I think this is something that is important for overall. Were you guys able to hear that? Please type in the message. I updated my OBS, so I wanted to make sure, hopefully it didn't change any of the settings. So were you guys able to hear that little part or segment of the video so far? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tim. And appreciate it, hands up. Thank you. All right. This was what I said 3 months ago. I don't think this is the pounce. I think this is something that is important for overall the fundamentals of AMC. He always wanted the streaming services like Amazon, Netflix, Apple TV, all these TVs. You know how these companies make their own movies, right? And normally, those movies on Netflix, for example, when they come out new, they don't get too much hype. Rarely that any of them does. But in the same time, Netflix pays a lot of money on producing these movies because they're the ones who are producing them. But since they don't get enough income in return out of them, they're losing. So what if Adam Aaron or the board of AMC reached out to all these studios or stream services and said, hey, when you have a movie, why don't you stream it at your platform and in the movie theaters so that it can look legit? Because let's be honest, any movie that drops into the AMC theaters, and this is my opinion, you guys might agree with it or not, I don't know, you guys put your thoughts in the comment section. But when the movie comes out on theaters, it's completely way more, to me, it garners way more media, more coverage, more money than when a Netflix, for example, drops their own movie only on their platform. Because now people with Amazon or people with Apple TV don't have access to that. So what do? They're not going to go and open up 5 different subscriptions, right? I mean, I'm just going with my common sense here. I hope if you guys see a different common sense, then put it in the comment section. This is not a one-way highway, but I'm just going with I'm going with the logic here. So if somebody wants to see the Netflix movie that just came out, whatever movie it is, and they have Apple TV, they're like, it's not right. Like, it doesn't make sense that they're going to either go ahead and activate subscriptions across all other platforms or cancel their subscription and jump here. But then when there's another good movie in Netflix, then they cancel an Apple and go back to Netflix. So I think that these studios and these streamers, it's in their best interest to actually let, for a certain period of time, for a certain window, let their the movies that they personally produce in their own studios, air out in AMC first for a certain window and be also aired as a in their own platform as a token for their subscribers. Like, hey, you can only watch this movie either here or in theaters. But why would they do that? Because think on it. Who has the most loyal customer base? Throughout, I mean, not only the apex, AMC is the apex in this industry as far as how many theaters it has globally, not just locally. But more importantly than that, they got, in my opinion, way over 5 million avid and very, 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 very loyal customers. So if I was Amazon TV or Apple TV or Netflix, I would be looking at it as, okay, I need to continue to make movies. I can't just stop because the other streaming services will step all over me. I will lose all my subscribers. I need new content constantly. But in the same time, it's hurting me. This is how we think, business guys. But in the same time, it's hurting me financially to make these movies. And now, if I want to continue to make really quality movies, I have to pay more, but I'm not getting the same money in return because those subscribers are what? They already paid their subscription. So the movie that these streamers are dropping out are only they're not going to be paid different. Like, they're not going to harness any extra income. The subscriber has already paid that $20 a month or $15 a month. So they're making this gigantic investment on this movie to air it out to who? An existing subscriber, in the hopes to keep them as a subscriber. So as we're thinking on this, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll be in their best interest to, in my opinion, to have their movie, every studio on their own, whether Apple, Amazon, Netflix, when they produce a movie, that it will only air on their platform and for a certain window be aired on the big screen with AMC. I think that it's a win-win situation. AMC is not paying for anything for that movie, but they're streaming it, and we can literally publish it. And now those studios can actually put real money and make really quality movies because they know that they're going to be making money on the big screen, and it's only on their platform. And now they can entice subscribers from other studios to fight against themselves. So it's good for us and it's good for them, but it's more good for us as AMC company than them. What do you guys think about that idea? That's personally my idea on the matter. I think that's something I would love to hear if they come out with it. I don't think it's a pounce of like the greatest pounce. I think the pounce will involve something about synthetics. So let me see what you guys are putting in the chat. I know you guys are. So there you have it, guys. 3 months ago, AB gave out an idea, and you know, at that time, I even remember, I can't tell you guys exactly how many other content creators brushed that idea on the side, but it doesn't matter at this point. At this point, we it's in the past, and now it happened. I was as you could tell back in that time, I was saying it's an idea. What do you guys think? Some people said, yeah, it's cool. It's not that big. It's not that bullish, but it is. It is. I do think that a greater AMC fundamentals and balance sheets, this is extra money coming to us for doing nothing. We're not producing the movie. We're not doing anything. This is just extra money. And if it's a great movie that those subscription services like Netflix, Apple, Amazon, as I mentioned in that past video, if they make, now they have a reason to go and actually spend big time money on producing a really nice movie to compete with the bigger services, like the older services, the ones that are known to always put out like MGM, and Universal and many other services. Like they can compete now and make those movies because they know they're gonna be offering it to their subscribers, and they're gonna be making, if it's a hit movie, they're gonna be making a lot of money off of it in the big screens. But who also takes their cut? We do, for doing nothing. But either way, airing it. We need movies into our screens. Those screens are not going nowhere. And by buying more theaters back in 2020 and 2021, now we can get more bodies into these seats, to fill these seats, to watch these big screens. So I wanted that to happen. That was an idea 3 months ago. And thank you to the AMC board and to aron for making it come a reality. I think that Netflix is just the first service. And I think there is more to come on the way. So I'm really happy to have heard that and now covering that. You guys now can see the fact check that I did say this 3 months ago, and it's happening. We're gonna get to the chart here in just a second. Let's cover this interview right here because it's important that you guys hear all this stuff and we reiterate all the things that we've talked about as far as the bullishness. I know there's been a lot of shills, a lot of shilling, so many even creators coming out and saying, that's it, it's over, and all this stuff. This was to be expected. I've warned you about this in phase 4. Nothing is new. Watching this and reacting to it would put things back in perspective, hopefully, to whoever may want to listen or whoever want to hear it. So before I do that, let me say hello here. I see I got, all right, Mrs. Gloria, how are you, my friend? Sanjay, good to see you. Good afternoon, brother. Mikey J, the GOAT, how are you, brother? Tim Tuna. And yo, the one and only Adrian Fernandez. How are you, my brother? Let's see. Can't get right. I just wanted to squeeze like HKD. Well, no worries, my friend. I hope our time comes really soon. And honestly, HKD had a much smaller float, but in the same time, it was underneath most people's noses. It was barely anyone that was actually in it. I personally think it was a coordinated play back in those times to get people to jump in those Chinese IPOs. And then after that one, there was a lot of catastrophic plays where people lost their asses on. But no worries, it still did go to the 2,000+ a share, which means AMC could do that and even beyond, in my opinion. Sorry, guys, just allergies are killing me. So, maybe I'm wearing green for your live. Well, hopefully your bank will also be green really soon. I mean, I know there's green in there, but I mean, hopefully your trading account, that's what I meant by it, will also be completely, massively into the green, where you can't even see any white or red anywhere, just green everywhere. And all for all of us as well. Thank you, can't get right. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Okay, so shall we get into this interview? Because this interview, Yahoo Finance, we're literally trying to figure out how to be as bearish as possible with Aron. So let's watch this. I'm going to react. So I'm going to keep pausing it to react to certain things. Okay. You ready for this? Let's go.
AMC saw a large swing in its financial fortunes for the second quarter as moviegoers returned to watch top flicks like Top Gun 2. The company is now using that momentum to launch a new class of stock it dubs ape shares. Of course, that pays homage to the retail traders known as apes that have powered AMC stock throughout the past 2 years. Let's welcome in AMC President and CEO.
So ape, guys, look at the articulate how artistic AMC is with things. APE stands for, as many of you may know, and some might not know yet, but it stands for AMC Preferred Equity shares. And a lot of people, the reason why I'm choosing this interview to react to, because a lot of people, including some content creators, are saying that the squeeze is over, Aron screwed us, and all that stuff because of those APE shares issuance. So let's debunk this crap.
Aron, great to see you here this morning. We've been talking about your stock all morning long. It was momentarily halted. What's it like on a day like this for you where your stock gets halted and you see the stock ripping higher?
Just another day in paradise, Brian. I got to tell you, it's nice to be with you at Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance is the app I use on my iPhone to check stock prices. So I'm on Yahoo Finance every day of my life, probably just like you.
Hell yeah, Adam, welcome home. All right, so look, let's talk about these ape shares. I saw your tweet storm over the weekend on Saturday, really explaining what they are, what they aren't. Why is this good for AMC investors?
Well, we actually think the creation of apes, which is short for AMC Preferred Equity, preferred shares, preferred stock, we think this is one of the most important developments of the entire year 2022, because what this does is it allows AMC to raise cash. It's well known that we survived this pandemic because we sold a lot of our common shares and raised money, more than $2 billion worth back in 2021. But we ran out of shares. It's that simple. We ran out of shares. And now that we have a new security, a new class of security in preferred stock, that gives AMC the ability to raise capital at will. And what that does for our shareholders is many things. Number one, it takes survival risk off the table in the near term because we can raise cash if we need it.
This is really important. Do you see the wording here? He said the survival risk. Okay, Guys, this is the most important part of this, possibly this whole entire interview, because I want to get this straight to everybody's head. What is the number one fear? And I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of moment to go ahead and respond in the comment section. What is the most crucial thing for a company that is being shorted? Well, like, what is the thing that they're like you would be worried about if your company that you're invested in is being shorted, especially like AMC to oblivion? What is the last thing that you would want to see? What is the number one thing the shorts want to see? And what is the number one thing you don't want to see as an investor in AMC? Please put your comments in the comment section before I respond. I'm seeing some beautiful answers. All right, look at all these beautiful answers. Look at all these people. So Jeffrey says bankruptcy. Mikey J, a company that is, Tim Tuna, AMC becomes profitable and debt-free. Mikey J, a company that I'm shorting needs to not have a dividend. AV, bankruptcy. Sheen Dials, short theses to be gone. Paul, paying bankruptcy. AMC to zero daily. Mikey J, AMC needs to never hit zero. Toxico, PVB, P, company going under. Adrian Fernandez, Mars or bankruptcy is my only way out of the play. Everything else is irrelevant. Kim A, bankruptcy. Sanjay, I don't want anyone to see me in my shorts. Well, my beautiful and wonderful family, yes, indeed. The last thing we want to see is bankruptcy. And then that's the number one thing that the shorts want to see. It is true that we are heavily in debt. Yes, we are working those terms. We just restructured a couple, and we will go into that into the interview. But we don't want anything. Like, remember back when I did the GME, I figured out what Ryan Cohen is doing live. In that live, I shared with you guys what this hedge fund back in 2012, 2014, did a hostile takeover over a firm or over a company, just simply by manipulating all the votes and through all the shares that were being lent out. So there was not enough voting, and they were able to get all the votes to be in their favor, and they took over that board. And they were able to screw over anything else that was against them and get exactly what they wanted that was best for their best interest. Now, in this case, look at it. In 2022, we are now. We are not against one entity. We're against almost the entire Wall Street structure. The shorts are oblivion. It's in their best interest to do whatever it takes, and they have been doing so. Only God knows. They've been doing whatever they could in their power, and even outside of their power, to make sure that we stay under. And their number one dream is to get us to go to bankruptcy. And if we go to bankruptcy, then at that point, law is going to be saying, well, and even the SEC is going to be saying, well, okay, yes, there is a rehypothecation. Yes, there is many shorts. Yes, all that. But the company went bankrupt. Therefore, the short thesis is correct. And we get effed. This exact term that he used here, survival risk, is very adequate for the wording that he used. The issuance of APE, you people, makes sure that we never hit zero. It makes sure that AMC, worst comes to worst, if all shit hits the fan, we would never go bankrupt, at least in the near term. What more do you want than other than this? I understand we want our short squeeze. I understand we want all this. But are you, any of us, sitting behind the helm where this guy is sitting, for example? And I understand he made money selling shares. Other board members made money selling shares and all this stuff. But this is the way that they get paid, right? A lot of people, for some odd reason, when it comes to Aron, a lot of people see that if he got 10 million or 15 million or 17 million, that means it's, oh my God, that's a lot. And he's like a CEO of thousands of screens, or 600 and something, 87 screens, AMC theaters worldwide, probably just in the US alone. I think in this interview they talk about it. Well, while the CEO of NVIDIA just last year alone made over $187 million. GME's CEO, McFarland, made over $18 million last year. And we all know that he's not even known. Many people don't even know that he's the CEO of GME. And a lot of people think it's Ryan Cohen still. It's so crazy for people and the FUD to try to string something and see if they can hold a rope to pull on. But if you cut it right at the snake's head, there's nothing to pull on. It's gone. The ape issuance was necessary, people, in my humble opinion. Whether you agree or disagree with it, time will tell. But I am fully for ape. And as far as them taking it in the red, this is nothing new. This is what shorts have done to every other stock in the past, in history. This is what shorts have done. They're shorting something. What is their number one tool? To psychologically get you afraid out of your position and get you to run out of your position. There's nothing new in this one. And plus, we've been in this movement for 2 years and we've seen far worse. My number one thing is to make sure that if I'm sacrificing everything, I've been sacrificing everything for over 2 years now, is to not have sacrificed all that stuff. And then at the end, the company that I sacrificed everything for goes bankrupt. And there goes my investment with it. Thank you. Again, I will say it again. Thank you, Aron, and at least for the most part, most of the AMC board, for doing this issuance and for also adding the whole Netflix subscription to be streaming on their movies onto AMC theaters. And I'm looking forward to the other streamers as well. So let's carry along. Good answers, by the way, for everybody in this live chat. Let's continue with this.
That certainly is good for our shareholders. And if it's good for our shareholders, it's bad for the people who wish us harm. And there are a lot of people out there who wish AMC harm. Much to their chagrin, we've created this preferred stock. The other thing it lets us do is raise capital to grow. It lets us raise capital for M&A activity, lets us raise capital to pay down debt. These are all good things for AMC. That combined with an improving box office, a recovery from the horrible pandemic of 2020, early 21, these are good days for AMC.
So break this down for us, Adam. It's Julie here. So how will this allow you to walk us through how this allows you to raise cash? Because the first issuance of these shares will be to existing shareholders, correct? So that doesn't raise cash for you. It would be if there was a wave at some point where you would actually sell shares, correct?
What you just described is accurate. So what we are doing in the creation of preferred equity is we're doing what I guess it's called a stock dividend, but it operates like a stock split, so to speak. In a stock split, if you had a common share, it's split, you got 2 common shares in a 2-to-1 stock split. In our case, you'll get 1 preferred ape unit and a common share for the old common share. So that doesn't raise any cash for the company. That just puts apes into circulation in the hands of our shareholders. Having said that, the authorization that we received from shareholders back in 2013 is that we could theoretically, not that we ever would, but we could theoretically issue up to 5 billion of these things. Now, it would be foolish to do that. The market wouldn't support that. Our shares are precious things. We treat them as such. We'll only take what we believe is smart, wise action. Having said that, part of that smart, wise action down the road, when we wish to, we could sell more apes into the market in addition to the 517 million that go out on day one in terms of this stock dividend.
All right, guys. So let's stop right there. Can everybody hear this perfectly? I mean, I got it on the loudest that it can possibly go. I hope everybody can hear this. Frankie Muhammad, how are you, my brother? Continue the great work that you're doing. Let's see. Oh, and let's not forget the Chase too in the financial rest in peace. Definitely. Daily, I'm lucky to be 23, a part of a MOAS. So much time to get shit done afterwards. No offense to the old folks. Y'all deserve it more. It's going to be beautiful for everybody. Age is nothing but a number, my friend Daily. But it's good to have you on, you know, as a 23-year-old and being a part of the ranks or among the ranks of this movement. It's very encouraging, and you're hopefully going to reap the rewards of this stance. All right, Adrian, good luck at work, brother. And see Maddox, meanwhile, Elon can literally do no wrong. How are you, my friend Maddox? Jeffrey, what's up? Welcome back. Colin S., what's up, my friend? I hope you guys can hear now. Tony Johnson, it sounds pretty low. This sucks. What are we to do? Hold on.
And also at some
more apes into the market in addition to the 517 million that go out on day one in terms of this stock dividend.
And also at some point, these preferred shares could be convertible into...
You guys still can't hear this? Can you guys hear this good? Frank, how are you, brother? Frank. Prometheus, how are you, bro? Nice to see you in here. Mike Woods, how are you, brother? Sub as the boss. Tony, I'm sorry that it's very low. Can you guys hear this a little bit better? I tried to put it up as loud.
Shares of the company. Now, earlier this year, your shareholders said they didn't want you to issue more common shares.
Okay, better. Okay, Sanjay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So far as you can see, guys, this lady and this crew of Yahoo Finance, if you can feel the tone, and you'll feel it throughout the interview, which is not long from here, you'll see that they're extremely bearish. Like, they're more bearish than Kramer is. The questions that they're asking, nothing is asked from a perspective of, normally when companies or Yahoo Finance does or CNN or whoever makes an interview with a CEO of a company, it's to try to give more props to the company. They never bring a CEO just so that they can like kind of show a lot of flaws about their company. Otherwise, the CEO wouldn't even take the interview. But this tells me here, like, and you can see it on Aron's face here, that he already figured out what these people are doing, and you can see that he's ready to respond. I mean, this is a look of a person who has not just nothing to hide, but he's ready to go. That's just what I want to say. But it sucks that the people that are interviewing him are actually completely bearish. Watch the tone of every question they ask. It is all bearish questions. And watch how he responds and answers these questions to not get it. Because again, Yahoo Finance, there's a lot of people who are not even in the meme stocks who watches this. And if they see this, these editors and these analysts want to make sure they're probably paid by someone, who knows, to try to paint the ugliest picture possible about the stock so that they can limit the amount of people who get exposure to it. So again, nothing new, and this is all water under the bridge as far as for me. I don't give two shits about them. But let's listen to this stupid question of hers.
What do you think would make those circumstances change, and would you be able to convince shareholders at some point to convert those shares or to issue more common stock?
Well, this is really important, Julie. The shareholders didn't say no, that they did not want us to issue more common stock. It was last summer, May, June, July. We had it out for a shareholder vote. The vote was split. It was actually running favorable in favor of a stock issuance at the time. But it was my opinion, my decision. I pulled the vote. I pulled the tabulation. I took the question off the table. And the reason I did that back then is while we were winning the vote, it was close. And I didn't think that on something this important, we should do it at a time when the shareholders were not for it in big numbers. What's changed since then is I think that we've proven that back in January of 2021, when we were issuing shares, our share price went up. Back in May and June, when we issued shares, our share price went up. When we stopped issuing shares in July of 2021, our share price started a gradual decline. And I think we've been able to make the case to our shareholders that this new class of preferred stock, it's in their interest, it's in the company's interest. And as you can see, the market reaction to our announcement has been very positive.
Adam, we're getting some viewer feedback here. Maybe a friend or a follower of AMC. They're curious on when you think you'll be able to de-lever your company.
Do you see this, guys? Do you see, like, possibly there's about, who knows, thousands of people who are watching this live. And out of all the questions, this is the question that this guy comes up with to ask him. Out of all the questions, this is the one and only question throughout this interview where they pull a fan's question. And look at that. It's good for us to hear this question, but it's crazy to see the intent that or the distance that these people are willing to go to try to bearishly crap all over AMC's stock. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this. At the end of this interview, I'm going to tell you guys, just like 3 months ago, I did with Netflix and AMC, I'm going to tell you guys my thought on what's going to end up happening with Ape, perhaps soon. And I'm going to tell you guys what we in the special waters for that I said yesterday's video. So, but literally right after this interview. So out of all those questions, this is the question that he asked this, the CEO is, when are AMC going to be debt free?
Well, we actually started delevering the company in the second quarter. We bought back $72.5 million of debt for $50 million in cash. That was a 31% discount. That's a very attractive way to retire debt. In the summer of 2020, we retired $555 million of debt on a fairly sophisticated equity for debt exchange. But to survive the pandemic, where our theaters were shut for months on end and our revenues simply disappeared, we did have to borrow more money. So we delevered the company, but we levered back up. We are going to get on a path relatively soon to deleverage some more. I think you can say relatively soon means starting this year, and certainly in significant numbers in 2023.
Hey, Adam, Brad here. When you think about some of the raising capital that you were talking about for M&A purposes, how aggressive do you expect that AMC will be with its own interests to go after other acquisitions in this near term?
Look, our company's been built on acquisitions. We've been buying up movie theater chains for decades and decades. And when I first got to AMC back in 2016,
So, as you can see, they bombard him with all those bearish questions, and then they get one guy to sneak a neutral question, what I think, in my opinion. They know the outcome, or they know what we have done as far as acquisitions. They know it's a company that's in debt. So they know that that question they asked, they're not going to get a bombshell out of. So to make it seem like they're not just being hostile with their questions toward him. And you will see all that will change toward, as soon as the next question pops up, you'll see where their intents go right away.
I did 3 major acquisitions in the span of 15 months. Even coming through this pandemic, just in the last, whatever it is, 10 months, we bought basically a third of the ArcLight Pacific Circuit, which did not reopen from the pandemic. We bought 5/8 of the Bowtie Circuit, mostly in Connecticut, upstate New York, and Maryland. So, we have an appetite, but we'll only buy if we can get attractive prices, if the deals are accretive for our shareholders, if it's obvious to one and all that we made a very smart decision to use this new currency, APE, for the benefit of our shareholders.
Now, Adam, you mentioned earlier that there are people who wish the company harm, and certainly there are a lot of sort of critics out there. But there's also, I think, maybe some deserved skepticism out there. They might not wish the company harm, but they have questions about, this quiet little movie theater chain that has done sort of some creative things, so to speak. And you're a very traditional business guy, right? You've been in this world for quite a long time. So sort of how do you view that skepticism or address that skepticism?
Watch the tone and the wording of the question. First, there's deserved skepticism. So meaning she's trying to say, okay, we understand, that most of the viewers that are watching are most likely AMC investors. And they don't want to see like nonstop F you, Yahoo Finance and all this stuff. So she's wording it correctly. But then she says right there, little movie chain. Do you see the wording? Like basically making it smaller than what it is. Like, a little movie chain did some remarkable stuff. AMC is not little. One, we are the apex of that digital world. And globally, not just nationally, but or locally, globally, we are. It's crazy how they're sneaking these little things in. And look at his face. Do you see his face? Like, I guarantee you, he understood the question the same way I just broke down that question with those little wordings. You can see it on his face right there. Like, because it was like in his head, if I was to read the words that are going through his head, it's more the thoughts. It's like, man, this B word and her little necklace, weird shaped necklace or whatever it is. That's probably what's going on in his head. But let me say hi to a few people. Frank, AB, can you leave the chat up for a bit after the stream? You got it, brother. Sub has the boss. I watched this some time ago, and same bro, lady laughs at apes. Let her laugh for now, no problems. Let me see. Who's all in here? International Psychological Twisting. Tell Dog. This person, welcome back, brother. AB, do you remember what it was like to have Repeated visits to your doctors for testing? Well, you aren't the only one. My health played a huge role in my departure and for blocking 99%. I've watched your videos. Well, welcome back, brother. If there is anything that you need, I'm more than ready, and I'm always here for you. And hopefully the health is better now that you're back. This is a movement of all. It's not a movement of one or many, but it's a movement for all. So welcome back, brother. All right. So let's see how Mr. Adam Aron is going to respond to this chick with her deserved skepticism over the little movie chain.
Well, look, there's a difference between people who are skeptical and people who wish us ill. There are securities analysts whose livelihoods depend on being accurate in forecasting stock prices.
Guys, there's a lot of people that are very skeptic on the CEO, right? As far as within our community. Does this sound like a CEO? Like, remember this, if a CEO is on the take and really wants to do their part and like kind of play with the other side to screw us over, trust me, the answer that like how he started answering this question does not sound like a person that's on the take. Okay, normally when the analyst or the reporter gives him a getaway question like this, like there's skeptics about the stock and it's going bankrupt and all this stuff, a CEO on the take would say, yeah, it's gonna be very rough for us to try to get off of this. Hopefully we can get out of this, but we're in very hot waters. If he was to say stuff like this, then he himself will be discouraging his own investors. And in doing so, that gives me the inclination that he is on the inside or on the take. But as you can see here, he corrected her question by saying, when she said that there is some deserved skeptics, he knew what she was alluding to as far as the short theses. And he instantly answered it like this.
There are securities analysts whose
View that
difference between people who are skeptical and people who wish us ill.
See, there is a difference between people who are skeptical and people who wish us ill. He's addressing the shorts, the predatory shorts, with that statement right there. This is no CEO. MAB's book, again, this is my opinion. Maybe you guys can agree with it. Maybe you haven't. But this is not a person that's on the take. Otherwise, he would not even get into it like this. He wouldn't even go this route. If he's on the take, it's in his best interest. If he's on the take, that means he's being paid on the inside, right? So what's his best interest? To own up to what he's being paid for, hypothetically speaking. But he's, in my opinion, if he's not on the take, because his best interest, as you can see, he is deciphering her question and reiterating it the proper way that it should, because he knows he's addressing not only AMC investors, but he's addressing potential incoming investors from outside and correcting the national or the universal notion that AMC deserves to be shorted, or it's a terrible little movie chain and all that stuff. So there's a big difference, as he said, between skepticism and people who wish us harm.
There are securities analysts whose livelihoods depend on being accurate in forecasting stock prices, who call for our share price to fall to a penny or $1 or $2. They don't want to see our stock go up. At last count, there were 100 million short shares out there. I don't think they want to see our stock price go up. Now, that's different from people who are just skeptical. But what I say to the skeptics, people who don't necessarily have an economic interest in our doing poorly is people have been underestimating AMC and underestimating movie theaters for years and years and years. You know, back in 2018, not to do ancient history on it, but like it was the conventional wisdom that theaters were an anachronism and people were all going to watch movies on their couches and they were going to watch on their TVs and their tablets and their small telephones. Well, if the pandemic taught us anything, literally imprisoned in our houses and apartments for the better part of a year without being able to go out or see friends, people do want to get out of the house. They do want to go out. They do want to do things. They do want to be with friends. And going to a movie theater, you know, it's a cheap date. You can get a movie theater ticket in much of this country for $10 to $15 a piece for 2 to 3 hours of really high quality entertainment. And so we just think the conventional wisdom is often wrong. And, you know, it was just 6 months ago, people were again hollering to the heavens that streaming was the future of the world. Those people weren't expecting Top Gun Maverick to do $1.3 billion of ticket sales in movie theaters. They weren't expecting to see Jurassic World Dominion do closing in on between $500 million and $1 billion of ticket sales. Theaters have a bright future because people want to go out to theaters.
Watch.
That's my answer to the skeptics.
All of that
said, people go to theaters forever and ever.
You see how she broke him up, and he in turn, I mean, this man is intelligent. I can tell you that, especially with doing live interviews or with interviews in general. I mean, his age, probably he became a wizard of those things. But I can tell you this, all what he just said to me, and again, this is a personal opinion, that does not sound like a guy who is in on the take. This is a person who's speaking passionately. You can see it through the words. I read people through their wording, how they word things, their body language. When you incorporate all those things, you can read to a certain extent someone's intent. And in this, since he have not changed, all of his interviews have been very similar, in a very similar manner and tone. He directed her skepticism, and he said, he literally took a dig, a professional dig, I would call, a professional dig at the Kramers, Gasparinos, all the conventional wisdom, as he alluded to it, that says that there's skeptics, that theaters are terrible, Maverick was not going to do good, Minions and Jurassic World and all this stuff. And guess what? He did really nail it. He said that, hey, the pandemic taught us something. People don't want to just stay at home. And it's the truth. So even, and here's where the scary and the good part is, even if there was to be another, hypothetically speaking, hopefully, God forbid, another pandemic coming up this winter or fall, that somehow shuts down or a war to break out globally, we still have ape shares to make sure that we survive through whatever or persevere whatever to not go bankrupt. It's at the end of the day, as he said, a risk, a survival risk that they were supposed to take. You see it up here. Take survivor risk off the table. So let me read some of this before I go back into things. Where did I get? Oh my God, this thing spun down on me. Tell Dog, I am sorry to hear, brother. Your health is not better. Well, if you need anything, let me know. I literally, I will not be late. Whatever I can do within my power, I will help. But I have something I need to get off my chest. Well, whatever you need to get off your chest, my friend, you know, you only live once. So get it off your chest. Sagaro, how are you, brother? Hey, B, I've been here listening to these news YouTube tweets since 2020. It goes in 6-month intervals. fact check me. You're putting a smiley face on this, Jeff, but there is a lot of truth to what you're saying, though. I get along with it. Maybe you know what I'm going to ask you about, so I will let you decide how to proceed. I would prefer to do it publicly, but will respect your channel by offering to do it privately for now. Honestly, tell dog, I don't know what you are going to ask me about, but you have my number. You have my Discord. Feel free, however way you want to proceed with it. Glock, oh my God, the guy with the Glock is in the house. What's good, brother? Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. Can't get right. Oh, before he is saying what they are coached to say. As far as aron, I don't see that as being coached to say that. If they were coached to say something, it would be to say negative things about the stock. Can't get right. Much love, brother. Maybe I misunderstood you. All right. So we're going to carry on with this.
All of that said, a lot fewer people are going to the theaters than they used to, right? Adam,
Again, this is the part we got to. Matt, see how she just cut him off because he just literally went on a rampage of showing why numbers were great, the financials were great, we did great in Q2. Watch what she's cutting him up for and what she asks him.
That's my answer to the skeptics.
All of that said,
going to theaters forever and ever.
all of that said, a lot fewer people are going to the theaters than they used to, right? And it's also less of a cheap date than it used to be, and that's why you guys did well last quarter, because ticket prices have gone up, but volume is still not there. I think you guys sold 43.5 million tickets in the second quarter in the US, but that compares to almost 72 million tickets sold in the second quarter if you go back to 2019. Do you think we'll ever get back to those volume numbers that we saw pre-pandemic?
You see the shill questions, yet again, the bearish questions. She cut him off from the previous answer so she can ask this crap. Like, and they came up with a separate slide. Oh, 72% compared to 43% attendance and all that stuff. Like, for Yahoo Finance is definitely on the take. See, that, my dear family members, is what it sounds like to be on the take. You see what they're doing? How they're hawkishly coming after a negative perception on the stock. That is a person that is on the take. That's how a person on the take acts or behaves or talks like. And you can see it on his face as she was asking that, because it's a stupid question, honestly. In my opinion, go to any business, worldwide that is, any business that relies on retail, post-pandemic, and show me, have they been back to their pre-pandemic levels or of attendance or even anywhere close to it? I guarantee you, you're not going to find any. Because we just came out of a freaking pandemic. But this chick is trying to make it sound like this is only in AMC's case. Go look at the attendance in GME incoming customers. Go look at incoming customers of other businesses, even restaurants. I have a restaurant. And that is down since pandemic, and it's nothing close to being pre-pandemic levels as far as traffic. So let's see what he responds with.
Well, guess what? In the first 2 weeks of July, that's pretty recent.
Do you see that? That does not sound like a person that's on the take, ladies and gentlemen. Do you see how he's getting like all On the first 2 week of July, he's being sarcastic. That's pretty recent, right?
15% ahead of where we were running in July of 2019. So look,
we were in this first 2 weeks of July, we had more 15% more attendance than 2019, which is pre-pandemic levels. That just got her to to shut up and to giggle as well.
We did have a pandemic. People stopped going to theaters. It's been a glide path back up to full recovery. If you look at our ticket sales in the second quarter of this year, it was more than 2.5 times what it was in the second quarter of last year. It's building back. When do we cross the line? When do we hit pre-pandemic levels? Probably, well, I never want to say certainly. So I'd like it to be 2023. I would probably think it can't be later than 2024. But as you said, at the same time that we're building our volumes back, we've also raised prices. We've also streamlined our costs. And one other magical little gift from the heavens. We have a very high margin food and beverage business. And people have been spending at record numbers at the concession stands at our theaters. Our concession revenues are up basically by a third. Our concession revenues per patron are up basically by a third over the were in pre-pandemic levels. So there's the ability for AMC to be nicely profitable in all this. But I do believe, and the numbers bear me out, we had a nice healthy attendance pre-pandemic. It went to zero. It's been building back ever since, and it's continuing to grow.
Adam,
So as you guys can see, one, we went, and he literally just said it. We had okay numbers, good numbers before the pandemic. Then it went completely to zero, and their bills did not stop. So they went on and borrowed money to stay, solvent and to keep moving. Then we popped up in the picture, and the rest was history, in my opinion. This is why it was important. The very same thing that everybody is shilling on Ape right now, these days that we're going through these moments about, it is the very same reason why it is very crucial for us. Because I will walk you through my train of thought in just a few minutes, as soon as this ends, to what I think will happen with Ape. What is Adam Aron's possibly his thought process on how it's going to work out. And I think it's going to work out, personally, in my opinion, perfectly. And it's going to be very, 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 I'm sizzling, honestly, on the inside. And I hope that it can make sense to all of you guys, what I would say. Again, it's the thought, just like that Netflix thought about 3 months ago. And I think I see it working out that way. Now, as far as timings, guys, I'll tell you this. I get a lot of questions and comments as far as, hey, when do you think phase 4 will end? That, I came out with 5 phases of AMC, and I've said that we are in phase 4. And here's the thing, guys. I gauge those things not just by the words that I say or by making up some imaginary phases or whatever. I measure or gauge these things through the charting movement and situations that happen. So like once there is a sign, trust me, I will not be late to announce it. And we are in very special waters. And again, we'll get to that toward the end of this live chat, but we got just a few more minutes of this interview. Let's finish it and see what we have to react to about at the end of this interview.
I was a former stock analyst for about 12 years. You get on these conference calls, you fall asleep, you publish a research report the next day, and you keep it moving. So I continue to marvel how you do things differently with these earnings calls, speaking directly to your retail investors. What made you do this? And is something still very wrong on Wall Street and investing? Because I don't see anybody else, by and large, adopting what you have adopted.
Well, we decided to do it because retail shareholders bought control of our company. Most companies are 80% owned by institutions. Our company, starting in March and April and May of 2021, became 80% owned by individuals.
Let's stop right there. So we all know this. Here's the crazy thing. Okay, here's the crazy thing about shills, guys. Shills come in and pop in at a certain point. And that point is normally when it's like when we are in the red, crazy in the red. And they know that most of the ideas that got you to make your investment in AMC or a certain stock, they know that most of these thoughts are in the back of your head. But at that point in time, you're seeing like all this red and everything. So there's a lot of hysteria going on. And they come in and they bring in this new narrative. And now some of the things that you knew are kind of way back in the back of your head and some stored in a really, really, really deep, far file in some old, very far cabinet. And you're not really thinking about that clearly because the stuff that you're paying attention to is what these shills are coming out with, especially in the environment that we're in as of late. This is why I always said it's very important for you to tune in to new developments, but it's extremely more important to make sure that you don't get too tied up to the things that could easily deteriorate you away from your conviction. I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm not telling anybody to hold or sell or buy. I'm just speaking my opinion on my own personal way of how I go about things. Because if it took 2 years for them to keep saying that, oh, this thing is going to zero, this thing is going to zero, this thing is going to be bankrupt and all this stuff. Well, it's been 2 years. If they were right about it, they would have been right about it in 2020. And now with all this ape that we have on the table, the whole idea of bankruptcy, you can toss that shit outside the window. If any shill comes at me with this crap, as far as AMC going to zero, you can eat. You know what? I'm not even going to ruin this live because it's been special and beautiful. I'm not even going to ruin it by cussing people out now and all that stuff. But if any shill comes at you, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, Discord, and says, oh, your stock is going to zero, it doesn't matter where they're coming from. Tell them to eat crow. Literally, we'll just say it that way. Tell them to eat crow. Because again, worst comes to worst. If it's a survival risk move, we have ape shares. AMC have ape shares that they can take care of, that can pay off debt. And when debt is paid off, what is in the way of a company that has over 80% of it owned, as you just heard this man, owned by its retail investors, not by institutions? Forget about the rehypothecated shorts over and over and over again. Forget about the oblivion of shorts. Just think logic. We have over 80% owned of the company. And we have a weapon now that makes sure we will not hit any bankruptcy talk. Even if ape was to drop to $1, it still can pay off our entire debt if he chooses to. But the reason why they haven't sold any yet, which I think they will inevitably, but the reason why I think they haven't sold any apes yet is because I will tell you in about exactly 2 minutes why it goes into my train of thoughts on my idea of how it's going to, unfold itself. So let's continue with this.
And I think the reason companies do these earnings calls, these quarterly earnings calls, is so that they can talk to their investors. And they had to do that through securities analysts. Well, when I learned, much to my amazement, that 10,000 people were listening to our earnings call via webcast. 10,000 people. Back in the good old days when we were institutionally owned, we didn't have 100 people on our calls. Well, all of a sudden we had 10,000 people on our calls. So it made sense to talk directly to our shareholders in a forum where they were listening. And then the other thing that happened, you said, Brian, that you were a securities analyst. One of the things that's quite amusing is the questions we're getting from our retail shareholders are better than the questions we were getting from analysts, because the questions we were getting from
Do you hear this, guys? This is amazing. This man is honestly amazing. It's as far as you can see it, he continuously keeps saying like the conventional idea or advice or consensus is not normally true. Even retail investors' questions are even better than analyst questions. It's beautiful to see a CEO see all these things about all that. And Jeffrey, I was just laughing my ass off when I was saying, when I read your comment saying, I'm giving stress advice. If you're skeptical, sell. We don't need the stress. Let's see, who else in here? Sorry, everyone, not in a very talkative mood and need to head to the doctors again. We'll get well soon, Tell Dog. And again, hit me up, reach out to me, and again, I'm dying to hear what you want to say. Kim A, don't worry, I will tell. Once Netflix comes, Sigado says, I'm just going back a little bit. Everyone will come. Apple, Amazon, Hulu, Vudu, everyone will come. One more content creators come. We can charge more, cut for ticks. And these four studios have killed theaters. Yes, as there you go, Sigaro. As I told you guys before, like it just takes one, and everyone is gonna jump in because it's just a venue for everybody to make money. All these streaming services and for us.
from analysts were really to help them.
Oh, and by the way, guys, on the next earnings call, I have an idea. I want everybody to sign up for that email or go in and actually watch it on your own. Please, 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 please. We will have time to react to the call at some other time together at a later time. But at that moment, in that time, when the next earnings come out, please watch it on your own. I would like the numbers to be in the millions, not 10,000, because maybe like 10,000 people are watching it in one place, in one content creator's place. So it just counts as one viewer who's watching that live call or that. Do you guys get what I'm saying? That earnings call. So the next earnings call, please, if you are an investor in AMC and you're watching this or you're hearing this, or at a later time, if you're hearing what I'm saying now, the next earnings call, please do your due diligence and try to watch it on your own or have it being played on its own, on your own convenience, and then watch all the reactions to it after, whether via other friends or content creators or whatever. I would like the number to be higher than 10,000 people that are watching, because I know that it was in the millions, not just 10,000, but many people were consolidated because they were all probably watching it live on one person's page. So I think it's a very good idea. Just think about that and let me know in the comment section if that's a good idea. I want more numbers because those are somewhat, as you can see, he said 10,000 people were watching. What if on the next earnings call, we get whatever, everybody to watch their earnings call on their own, and it happens to be 1 million or 2 million people? I know for a fact it's not 1 or 2 million shorts watching it. So that gives us more to read into or to think about like, oh my God, that means there's at least 2 million. I know for a fact are watching this. That means they got skin in the game. Nobody's going to go out of their way to watch an earnings call. Maybe one or two analysts here and there, but it's not going to be in the millions. So that's my way of seeing how many people are engaging with us as well, or are in the play, at least to a certain extent, not all. If we see millions of people watching it, oh my God, that's going to literally put me through the roof. Because I know that's 2 million or 1 million or whatever people that are still holding this play and true to their word. Because again, they will not be wasting their time watching an earnings call if they're not invested in the company.
Them build their models. It was, well, can you tell me what depreciation versus
nobody cares
risk
about that.
is?
Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares.
Upside down, backwards and forwards. On May 9th, as if it's a big thing. What our retail shareholders are asking us on these calls is about our strategy and our innovation and the trends that we see and where are we taking the company. Those are the important questions that we as the management team need to know the answers to and that we need to share with our investors.
Adam, lastly, while we have you here, I just went to an AMC, watched Nope opening weekend, and one thing I remember about the experience is there was really only one employee that I interacted with throughout that entire experience, from the time I purchased the ticket to seeing and then leaving and thinking.
You see this crap right there? That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is how we can part away with you, to their guest, Adam Aron, with another yet bearish question or sentiment. As you can see, they're painting the picture for potential investors to be cautioned, like, hey, attendance is not up to par, as that lady alluded to, and prior to that, with the other questions as far as debt and being insolvent, and then the final attempt now with this, you can tell what this guy is trying to allude to, right? Oh, they only had one person in a whole theater. Let's hear the response.
About the movie even more so after that. And so with all of this in mind, when you think about the number of people that work within an AMC who might be calling into those earnings calls as well as shareholders, what do you look at when you think about the headcount right now that's necessary to run what is a much more digital focused experience that AMC has right now?
Well, we even though you only saw one person, I hope that person was smiling and was
They
nice
were.
There's still 25,000 employees in the United States alone for our 600-ish theaters, and but it is true, we've automated, and one of the reasons we've automated is because our wages have gone up by about 30% since 2019. Now, our wages going up 30% is not something I'm unhappy about. You know, our company hires a lot of people for a first job, fresh out of high school, fresh out of college. They stay with us 6 months to a year, and then they move on to something else in their career. They need to eat. They need to earn a living. I'm glad that we're paying higher wages to our people, but when you're paying higher wages to people, that does put a stress on your cost structure. And so if we can automate some things, that helps offset the rising wages to the people who are working for us.
Adam Aron, it's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you. And thanks so much for taking the time with myself, Julie.
So guys, as you can see, that final question, he alluded to it with so much professionalism, and he answered it very precisely and said, okay, he could have said, well, hey, sir, to the analyst. He could have responded and said, guess what? Go look at the other companies. Do you know how many JP Morgan fired or let go like months ago? Do you know how many those major banks, Goldman, have laid off? Do you know how many Citadel have laid off? Do you know how many GameStop have let go or underpaying? Do you know how many, and this is not a dig at GameStop, and I'm an investor in GameStop. You know, I'm just painting the general picture. It is a post-pandemic era. Every company is dealing with these things. These stooges made it sound like it's only AMC's issue. All these questions that they asked made it sound like it's only going on with AMC. And it wasn't a knock. He answered it beautifully, I think. He said, yeah, our wages went up. And we're happy about that because we're a transition step from, I mean, you don't hear too many people saying, hey, I want a career for good in AMC. I know some of you in here would love for the shares that they get in the stock. I know a person who's actually a GM in one of the AMC theaters. His mother is a valuable customer in my restaurant, and he's an amazing customer as well. He's an amazing person. He describes it as being an amazing thing. He loves it, and they get paid well for it. What's not more to love about that? And thank you, Teldog, for that deletion. OGKush69, I want to just tell you, I see your comments on my videos, and then in my lives you come out. You're always putting some negative stuff or shilling comments or whatever your agenda is. I'm just telling you, you're wasting your time. It's really pathetic to see how somebody can go out of their way nonstop to constantly keep posting negative shit. I'm pretty sure you can be more productive with your time. I'll just put it that way. But hey, if it means a lot more to you and you like it to constantly keep coming here and shilling, hey, welcome to the ranks of shills that keep coming and shilling. Have it your way. Whose slogan is that? Is it Subway or Burger King or McDonald's? No, McDonald's, I'm loving it. Have it your way, however way. All right, so we got done with that. Now I want to open. There is a few videos I would love to one day just sit down and watch them with you guys. They have a lot to do with the general, like with generally life, like amazing, I think it's very thoughtfully stimulating videos. And they would be beautiful. I think it would be good to watch them at a different time because I don't want to drag this out. Excuse me. So we will do the charting and I'll tell you guys what I'm thinking. Okay. So this is the SPY, guys. And we remember what happened in 2020 when it got shut. And you see how it, dropped mightily down. Actually, sorry, this is not 2020. This was just a few days ago when it went to its 52-week low. Let's start with the SPY and then we're going to go to AMC. Okay. This is 2020. Can you see when it was at about 220, 222, and it constantly kept doing its thing? Okay, it moved up, and then eventually it hit the 52-week high for itself, which was at 478, 479. And then here we are. So right now, as you can see, we got a bearish pennant here, which just developed, and it went here. Here's where we were, as in August 22nd. And let's go back on the 3-month. Year. So the overall consensus with the SPY, what it's looking like to me is we are going to be on our way to be testing a new 52-week, even though we just did it a few days ago, on a 52-week low. I think that is going to be pushed down a little bit more, perhaps next week, I think. Unless we've already touched that. But either way, I don't see us on the SPY breaking this bad boy right here. Anything about the 400s, the 430, that I don't see that happening at any given time soon, because that is going to be a new resistance for us. In fact, it will be, I would be extremely shocked to see us hit 400 again. I do see us bouncing back up again from where we at now, which is, we're at 357. I can see us hit the 370s again, 360s perhaps. Yeah, 360s is in the ballpark, but I could see us hitting the 370s even. Maybe scratch the 380s, but then bouncing right back down to further try to fill the gap and hit the 330s and the 320s. That's what I see as far as for the SPY. Again, not financial advice, just my personal opinion on this. Now, as far as for AMC, do you guys remember the many lives ago where I told you right at this point, right here, back in August, I was literally around that time, it was when we were issuing the ape dividend. At that time, we were right here. It was like a Thursday, Wednesday live before the Friday of the issuance. And if you guys can double fact check me on this, I gave you guys a technical breakdown saying in that video that this is the only video you need to see before Friday, before the issuance of the ape dividend. You could go back and watch that live, and we were somewhere in this area right here. And I said that if we were to continue and break at the time before the ape dividend breakdown, the charting was, this was about $30. Now that resistance is about 1824, 1810 after the split or the issuance of the apes. So ever since then, now that at 18, at this point right here, back in Thursday or Wednesday of August 5th or August 4th, Wednesday is the 3rd, yes. So either the 3rd of August or the 4th of August, I've mentioned that if we were to break this 30, because again, this top was not there yet. We were here and we were moving away from this channel. So if we were to go up and break the 30, which is 18 now, that we were to see a push up and break the bull flag formation that we are in. Oh, sorry, let's do a brush. All right. Good. This, we were supposed to break, and I know this line is supposed to cover this as well, but you know, I just wanted to show you guys the bull flag formation. Now, if we were to break this, that 30 up here, that is 18, then we were gonna go and constantly break out of that bull flag formation and have a major rip, perhaps breaking the previous all-time high. Now, since we didn't, and at that time I was telling you, if we don't break this 30, then it's back to 11, and perhaps we're gonna test the 6s after that. And maybe the upper 5s, maybe the 5s. You guys can fact check me if I said this or I haven't said this. You guys are, the family here views me, and most of the times, most of you in here are the ones that are always with me. So you guys can fact check if I have said this or if I'm just throwing out words that I didn't mention. And yes, Friday came about. We hit this top right here. which was at the time about 25, 26, 20, yeah, about 26, 27. We didn't continue to break the 30 as predicted. We hit that top at 27 and we were brought down, which means we're going in for another cycle. Again, this video was made back in August. So you can go back and watch it. And it's the video that I said the only technical analysis video you need to watch before this Friday's ape issuance. And you'll see what I was exactly saying. So yes, we did not break the 30. So we did go as predicted for this, for going back down underneath. And we did hit the 11s. And that was also according to the old numbers when it was 30 before the issuance of ape. And then we are dancing and flirting with the upper 5s and the lower 6s. When you add 8 to it, we're about 7+ as we speak. Okay, so what does this bring us to? Why are we in special waters, as AB thinks? I think that we are weeks away, honestly. I think we are weeks away from a move. And this is an opinion, not financial advice, people. It could be sooner as well. But we are weeks away from a very nice move, similar to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, similar to those moves. But the thing is that I'm preparing you for is just like what I prepared you for back in August. This next move that comes, and I'm going to draw something right now. We'll probably come back to this live in the near future and go through it again. And I'll say, fact check me again. Okay, so hypothetically speaking, let's say it starts right here. One, I want you to pay attention, guys. You see the points that we are at. This is over a year. This is an over a year chart right now that you're looking at. Look at historically. Every time we touch this range, what happened? Come on, put your comments in the comment section. I'm not the only one who's talking here. Every time we hit this level that we're on right now, the line is on this. What do we see? And while I'm waiting on the comments in the section, I'm gonna also read some of these comments. Have a great evening, Shirley. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. I thank all the moderators, by the way, guys. And I'll thank you again, guys, before I finish the live. I agree, Jeff. All right. So the people have spoken. Harsan Gill, hey, AB, do you see us squeezing this month or after the elections? Harsan, here's the thing. As I just mentioned a little bit ago, I gauge it through the signals and based on what happens on the chart. Like back in August, when I was able to predict this drop, it's not because I knew that it was going to drop. I had two options. And those options were, if we break this level, I was readying my trading platform to act swiftly right at this break right here. If we broke this to the upside, AB was ready to pile in even more and get ready for a violent move. However, since we didn't break that, I was also preparing for plan B. There was only two plans you could go, A or B. Oh, wow, AB. And plan B was if we do not break this $30 resistance, then the move was going to be back down to the 11s. And at that point, it would even been wise for people at this point right here to also buy. Again, if you're a trader and you just want to trade, if you bought puts right here, you got a lot of money printed. And all that comes from what? From the technical analysis. No person can tell you this better than the charts. Numbers do not lie. People lie, yeah, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. So I hope that everybody understands exactly my theory or what I'm talking about here. Look at all these rips. If we don't break the previous resistance, then we are due for another push down. This is the pattern that they've been using on us. This is the algorithm that they're using on us. I'm making it as simple as possible for everyone. And it's very flat out easy to see what they're doing. So in the next few weeks, as I predict, we will have, let's say, starts right here somewhere, some sort of move. And this is going to be the inflection point right here. Right there. Somewhere in the 12 to possibly the $13. If we break this at $15.85, $16, we'll just say 16 to be comfortable. If we break that, then we're in for something crazy. If we stop right here, similar to what happened in August and back in March right here, I remember all those times, and we don't break this, then get ready for another yet bounce down to these areas. And this is how it's been operating non-stop for over a year and a half, since June, we'll say. Since June of 2021, ever since that major rip that we had for a previous all-time high, this is the cycle that we have been in. So in the next few weeks, maybe perhaps even sooner, we're going to have something that bounces up. We just talked about when we hit this line, what happens. We could do this right here. You see this back in June of 2022. We consolidated in this range that we're at right now from May 10th all the way to July. Well, the beginning of July. Yeah, Friday the 8th. So it took a little while for us, and we could consolidate. As you can see, we are here. Do you see this big move right there? Down, that over there, that's the similar one right there. So we could be here, similar to that, and we could be easily ready to do these consolidation in this consolidation zone. And then that move that I'm telling you about is going to come. And I think I'm predicting that it's few weeks away, perhaps even less. And when it does come, this is what I'm going to be watching for. If we're in for another cycle, or if we're in for the move as we hope that it is, to be the squeeze itself. If this next move comes and it breaks this previous resistance in the $15.85 to $16 range, then I know that we're definitely in much better special waters than we are in for. Than we anticipate. If it stops and it does not break this 15.85, 16, then we're in for another cycle for more consolidating before the next move back up. Now, either way, this is a good thing. Why is this a good thing? One, now you guys are seeing inside the brain of AB. Two, as always. Two, as you can see, this whole thing is tightening. Look at this. When it first happened in June 2021, the shorting opportunity for the shorts was so ample and beautiful. Look at it. They had all this range to short us with, and they did do just that. Literally, as you can see, short. It was easy to short here. 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 It was easy to short here, but it got really tight. And now in this area, in this range, it's very dangerous. There isn't too much opportunity to make money. Now, when it was easy to do it here, to short us here, and easy to short us here and here and here, it was easy because they were doing it illegally, in my opinion. All the rehypothecation and all the synthetics and all that stuff, this is why it was easy to do then. But doing the same madness in such a very tight space, now, first let me delete this to make it better. Sorry. Right there. Watch this. This is going to be so beautiful. Okay. So, as you can see this, the next bounce up that we have, this, as you can see, the sequence that we're in, and then the bull flag formation that we're in, this area, this is where they're going to try to short us and consolidate us through. You see how tight this is compared to all this? This is why they're like shorting us here. Easy, illegally easy. And they should have not done that. They didn't anticipate that we'll be here at this point in time, in my opinion. They didn't anticipate that we would still be here at this point in time. And now it's even way more dangerous for them to try to do this same madness that was easy to do here, 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 and here, and here. It's hard to do that shit here in this such a very narrow channel. Because one, we have so many different things. These things, what do we know about the shorts? They are also in hot water, in lava water, in their other positions. What do all shorts have? One thing in common is that they are stretched thin throughout the entire market. Doesn't matter what sector it's in, whether the tech sector, the freaking growth sector, whatever, value stocks, all of it. One thing we know they have in common is that they are at something else. They're invested throughout the rest of the market versus just shorts on AMC and other meme stocks or GameStop. What do we know about all the other stocks in the entire rest of the market? They're all red. They're all down. They're all making 52-week lows. Now, is that very low? I don't think so yet. Why? Because their shorts were created prior to these 52-week lows and 52-week highs, in my humble opinion. Their stuff started in the end of 2020 and early part of 2021, which was back in these areas in January of 2021, all the way leading to the June of 2021. So once we see the SPY, one second, let's look at something. I haven't even looked at this before, so let's see if we can find something cool here together. All right. So once we see I think, in my humble opinion, oh, this is really beautiful. So back in February of 2020, now we go to more. This was the exotic drop that happened, which means we should be over here somewhere. Wow. So in the lower 300s, when the SPY was in the lower 300s, which we're not far off from. If the SPY goes down 2%, 3%, that's $15 to $22, which could easily put us in this range right here. So back in January, February, March, oh my God, this is very tit jacking, as people refer to it nowadays. Well, we already passed this level on the way down. Wow. So once we hit the 320s on the SPY, which I think that we will hit the 320s on the SPY, maybe the 313s, the lower 300s, I'm going to be looking for something crazy to happen. And we're very close. On the SPY, we're very close. Are we one cycle away? Maybe this next special move that I'm alluding to, in my opinion, in these next few weeks, perhaps really soon, actually, even sooner than the next few weeks, will this next move be the move that actually pop us over the previous resistance at the $15.87 to $16 and eventually kickstart our much coveted and awaited for short squeeze, or MOAS, mother of all short squeezes? Or will we be in for yet another move to the up, for perhaps for shorts to pile up on calls, make some money on the way up, and then shorten the stock back down just to have extra cash for another cycle? Those are the only two questions on AB's mind right now. Honestly, I don't care about all this FUD stuff that's out there and all this stuff. I've done 2 years, just over 2 years of AMC alone, and I've done a few more years over that in just trading other stocks previously, pre-pandemic levels. So I don't need any stupid article from whoever, whether Motley Fool or Yahoo Finance, to come and give me a narrative that I haven't thought of or whatever. I've had my conviction on this, and I was all in on this, and I'm definitely still all in on this, and now more than ever. And guess what? If they want to keep foolishly playing with this shit that they cannot afford to play with in these levels here, these are heavenly numbers for AB. And AB's, again, this is AB's opinion, not financial advice, to pile up even more so I can make them pay the price even worse when the time comes. So are we in this next few weeks for this major move that could break the previous resistance at 1585, 16 and kickstart our much coveted MOAS? Or will we be in to go up to the 12, maybe perhaps the bottom $13 range, and go right back down to consolidate back to these same levels that we are in? Upper 5, maybe lower 5. If they have as much money to try to even short us down even more to 4 or 3, that's just more violent rip later. Again, AB is not going nowhere. I don't see anybody else going anywhere anytime soon. So I welcome more shorts to come on. But that's the way I see it. Two things are going to happen within the next few weeks. Now, why is APE very, very special? Here's what my opinion, I think, on APE will be. Mikey J. Oh, Jeffrey, thank you. Where is it? Let me see. He said my big head is in the way. Well, you don't need to see all that white up there. You don't need to see the, that's empty. All you need to see is these channels. If we break out of this area, then you don't even need to see. You're going to be, the line is going to go all the way through AB's big head and beyond. Good one. So that's what AB sees. Now, as far as ape, here's what I think is going to happen. When ape, okay, they're shorting the living hell out of ape. Aron alluded to ape as being a dividend / it operates as a stock split. So the reason why it's a dividend is because it's given out to the people, but it operates as a stock split because it comes from within the companies, from the common stock of AMC, which means it will split the price, which why we see all these charts got recalibrated to these numbers, because we were definitely higher than 38. We were at 78 or 74 for the all-time high. And with the issuance, we got recalibrated. Now, the other side wants those apes so bad. And there's a lot of rumors that many people, like those 500 million plus apes that were issued to go to their right places, that people were getting, and I believe in this hype, by the way. But again, it's a theory because no one can prove it yet. But I do believe into it because it's hard to prove anything these days. That most people were issued shares in general, like much more like the rehypothecation process that we've been in for 2 years, right? The synthetics. Well, since everybody got their ape, but it wasn't really an ape because it was just digitally placed into your thing. That means that all our brokers are in on the take. Now, many of you already knew this. It's not new news, but it's not proven publicly yet. We know it, but it is not on paper proven as on a constitutional or on a lawful document that's what they're implicated with collusion. That time will come, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. But anyhow, let's keep moving forward. It's in their best interest for the shorts to throw this gimmick at people. Again, this is an opinion. You can put your comments in the comment section as far as what you think of what AB is thinking of as far as for ape. It's in the short's best interest, in the broker's best interest, everybody involved best interest except our best interest, the investor's best interest, to sell those ape shares. Why? One, why is it in the short's best interest? Well, because that's the one thing that could screw them, double screw them. Because this squeezes, that squeezes. Now people are selling both at crazy prices. Now they got to pay for double squeeze. So it's in their best interest for you to hand over those apes. Why is it in the best interest? Now moving on. Why is it in the best interest of the brokers for you to sell your ape shares? Well, maybe because they have not been passing the real shares over to their rightful owners. So if you sell your shares, that's more shares for them to take and funnel somewhere, either play with it, payment for order flow, whatever, on cash accounts, sell their shares for them while you're telling them that on their account they have real shares, to further bring ape price down. At least they have real shares to lend out to shorters, or so they can take those shares that you sell and truthfully go ahead and place them in somebody else's account that they have lied to previously and said, hey, you got your, if you have, let's say, for example, AB had 10 shares in AMC. I was due, or rightfully, I was owed 10 ape shares. So they put 10 ape shares in my account. But are they really there? If there weren't, it's in the broker's best interest for people to start selling their apes, because that's how they can go and fit where the blank is. Okay. Why is it not in the best interest of the ape holders to sell their ape? There's many reasons, but one that really pops out in AB's mind is, look at the reasons that I just mentioned for the best interest of the shorts, the best interest of the brokers, and that's why it's the number one reason why ape holders should not be selling their apes. My opinion, not giving advice, but it's simply very easy to explain that part. Now, moving past that, what do I think AMC's board and / Adam Aron's plan with ape? I think when all this stupid FUD with them trying to get people to fold with their AMC shares and their ape shares, I think that these people, once that wave passes, because I think no one is falling for this dumb shit. It's been over 2 years and no one is going to fall for this now. When we pass over that, ape is going to violently rip, in my opinion. And when it violently rips also with AMC, we're going to see some sort of announcement similar to what AMC did back in June of 2021 and March 2021, when they sold shares, when the stock was moving up, so that they can use that money for finances and financing the company. Ape, instead of AMC selling AMC shares because they don't have any now, and when that time comes in the near future, I think that's when we will see an announcement that AMC sells XYZ amount of shares of ape at a particular price that they have in the back of their head, and then pay off their debt with that, and we would be able to have our MOS that we've been waiting for over 2 years, rightfully waiting for. Why do I think that, guys? Because right now, if AMC could possibly sell ape right now, but do you know how many preferred shares they will be selling just at this low price, just so that they can pay down their debt? That means they will be issuing so many shares that could be voted to become common shares down the line and further hurt our stock. And if you remember from the interview that we were watching with Yahoo Finance, the people that he mentioned, he was like, we don't want to just start selling our shares. Adam Aron said it himself, not me. I'm just quoting him. We don't want to just start selling as many apes to hurt down our stock, our company, and our shareholders' best interests. But some way or another, I don't see another way where we can shut down that whole crap about debt without us selling something. If we want to pay our debt relatively quick, that's the only way. If we want to wait years, many years, to pay down the $1 billion plus in debt, so that finally short and can't come up with articles saying, oh, AMC's still not out of the water. And remember from that interview what he also said, I could see us over that hump in 2023. And then he also said that I cannot imagine us not being over that hump in 2024. That, when you tie all these things together, again, guys, this is a tinfoil hat kind of thinking. This is just AB's opinion. It's not financial advice. Again, reiterating it all in one sentence or in one direction. Packing it all up. Ape moves up. AMC announces sale of ape a certain amount at a high price, which means they will be selling much less ape. Just think on it. If ape was to move up to $10, $20, let's say ape is at $10. And let's put $10 multiplied by let's put 100. Let's say $10 and we have they decide to sell 10 million shares. Or sorry, 100 million ape shares, because they sold many millions of AMC shares in the past. Let's say they sell 100 million shares of ape at $10. That would equal, ladies and gentlemen, $1 billion. If AMC wants to just throw boom, $1 billion through their debt as they restructured all the other debt, now the last few $100 million, they can pay that in over the years. It's good to have still some good debt on your hands. And at that point, what can shorts say? The price of AMC is correct, where it's whatever it's at $5 or $4 or $3. They can't say that. No more. Because at that point, we are officially, because even when they sell those shares, odds are most of the people that will be buying those shares will be us, the same people. And again, whether we are the ones or not, at that point, once the debt is paid off, there's no more crap the shorts can come up with or say. And most importantly, we will not be going bankrupt. That's the most important part. As long as we're not going bankrupt, I don't give a shit if AMC hits 50 cents, not just $1, 50 cents. That means every dollar will buy me 2 shares of AMC. That's the way I would be thinking about it, honestly. I hope they bring it down to that low, because I know they can't bankrupt the company. The bankruptcy is not coming. We have the ape shares. So therefore, if they bring it down to 50 cents, that means they just brought down the red carpet service for AB to have a lot more bigger position and move forward. Again, there will be no fear in the way that I present these things to you guys. AB is not trying to pump anybody's up or whatever. I always keep it as it is. I'm just giving you a look inside my mind and what I think and what I see. Is it gonna go down like this? Perhaps, perhaps not. But hopefully it does work out the way that I see it. And we'll see. Time will tell on everything. Let me see if there's any questions, and there's comments. That is true. AB Jeffrey says AB. I think ape will be on a rocket when they announce they sold XYZ apes for an X dollar amount during the earnings call in November. I see it working out that way too, Jeffrey. That it's beautiful how we think alike, brother. I see it working out exactly just like that. what the amount, what amount, whatever, but I see them doing it that way. It's foolish for AMC to sell to cover their debt right now at these evaluations, which we're not going to be at for a long time, in my opinion. We'll see. Time will tell. Leah, how are you doing, my friend? And AMC bonds due in November also. AB, I've got a fun buster for you. Why does it really matter if Tony's last name is not Gennaro? A lot of YouTubes use fake names. Total defamation, in my opinion. Honestly. I mean, I don't know why people use different names. I don't have, maybe they want to be private. I don't know. I don't use any different names. I think it's, if somebody really wants to look forward and to look down in somebody's past or whatever, they can definitely look into mine. I have nothing to hide. But yeah, is there something new? I have been away, as you guys know, since I was under the weather and attending to more important matters. I don't know. Is there something that lately Tony have said or something, or made a stance against the AMC movement or something? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with any content creator whatsoever in the past. So in this past time, since I've been away for a little bit, for a couple weeks. If the prices go too much lower, I'm going to be able to double my position. It's currently in the range on both AMC and APE. Yes. Well, not same here, Jeff, but I'm up there. I will be able to do the same thing as well. All the charts are calling for a bounce around that time. And yes, they are. All the charts. And even like just right now, like looking and seeing where we are, we could easily do this consolidation until in those few weeks, until that time a moment comes where if it's a gradual incline, guys, you see here, you see how it was making higher lows and higher highs. For the most part, it was higher lows. It touched down here first, then it touched down here, then it went up. You can see the line in this triangle, guys, right? And then it made that move, but it was right before a bearish pennant, which this bearish pennant as well was predicted correctly on the charts. So we had a move, then a back down, move. We didn't break the previous all-time, or not the all-time, the previous resistance right there. So that move, guess what was followed by? A drop, like this bearish pennant predicted. So let's see here in this next, in this few next days or next few weeks, I'm anticipating to see either a bullish pennant or a bearish pennant somewhere in this area. And once that is formed, I would have a better idea. As you can see here, 2 times it was correct. There was a bearish pennant followed by a pump. But that pump was not higher than the previous resistance. So the bearish pennant was correct of predicting the big drop, which means if there is any traders out there who thinks like day traders, there are moves to do and make money on, not necessarily just on AMC. When this happened right here and it went up over here, that I guarantee you the SPY was also up. And when this bearish pennant predicted a drop, after that bullish move, there was that drop, because where was the limit? The previous resistance. Look at it right here. So this one predicted a bearish trend and a drop. So it went up, then it dropped immediately. This one was formed as well, another bearish pennant. We get another rise, a move, a pump. But look at that. It did not break the previous resistance that I'm alluding to in the bull flag theory. It didn't break the previous resistance. So what did it do? It confirmed this bearish pennant that preceded it, and it dropped. Do you know how many technical analysis traders, true really technical analysis traders, were making crazy amounts of money based on what they see in this, what I'm explaining to you or showing you right here, right now? Because one, boom, boom. Then two, boom, boom. If we get the third one now, here somewhere, if we get a bearish pennant, that means odds are we're going to make a pump roughly to the $12 range, I would say 12, maybe bottom 13. And then we're going to consolidate back down for another cycle. In those ranges, the SPY will also be doing a pump, and then it will also most likely be going down afterwards. And many other stocks throughout the whole market, since most of the market is on the same algorithms mostly. So hopefully all this made sense, guys. We can always come back to this to fact check in the future, in the near future. And again, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments section so that I could answer them. This was me breaking down to you on so many different things on a much deeper level. And hopefully I've succeeded in doing so. That's what I was saying. It doesn't matter what name they use on YouTube. It matters what they say. Some tweeters are pushing that FUD narrative. Like I said, every 6 months, they try to defraud creators. Yeah. It's they could do whatever, Jeffrey. They could do whatever, man. They create these narratives. I mean, there are some content creators who are on the take. There are some content creators who don't even know what they're talking about. They're just in it for fame, milking the movement and riding the on the backs of the movement. So it's hard to tell. And there are some that are very passionate about the stock and the movement in general. So it's everybody's job to funnel through and see through the lenses of, or see through the fakes and the reals. Not too long ago, personally, myself, I was completely let down by one content creator. Still let down, honestly. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I see through it now. At least I was able to expose and bring to light the true intent of that certain individual in this whole process. To not maybe too many, but there is many people out there who don't even care about the truth. They just like what they like, and it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's not going to make me lose any sleep or any of that stuff. I got far better and bigger things to worry about. But all I care about is the few people, even if it's one person that watches this, that they get to see inside my head and on all, like, how I see these things playing out, and hopefully understanding my narrative on during the whole entire life, whether it was the reacting to the Aron interview, or whether be it reacting to my 3-month-old live that was predicting and hoping that we would go and earn some contracts with streaming services so that they can develop movies and produce movies, and then they can come and air them out on our big screen. Because we have the infrastructure, they got the tools. Pair them up, and money will be made for both. And it looks like they were listening to the AB Investment Live, the board and AMC and Adam Aron, and they went after it in 3 months, and they made it become true. I hope that we get all the other streaming services as well to come and get encouraged and come forward and do the same thing, because that's more money for us to pay down our debt and making sure we have a strong company that's resilient and that's not going to go bankrupt. And that's most importantly, the most important thing about our whole investment is for our company not to go bankrupt. Our company goes bankrupt, we get the big giant middle finger. Our company doesn't go bankrupt, the shorts are constantly cutting their like stripping their shorts off slowly and slowly with their own hands. We're not even taking their shorts down for them, they're doing it on their own. And I guess you know the rest after they take them down. No pun intended. Mikey J, you're so lovely. Thank you so much for the kind words, brother. Jeffrey, we need a Pantheon radio comeback to put all the futsters to rest with receipts and a beautiful sound of Pantheon. I double down on that statement. My good friend Pantheon is watching or hears this part. Yeah, the family's ready for you, brother. They've been waiting. I know Pantheon has been busy with many good things, and I've spoken to him not too long ago, and he's in great spirits. He's got a lot of great things going on for his family, and he's busy with all these things. But you will hear the man, I think, soon, and he will come back and he will do his thing. So much love and support to my good friend Pantheon. I totally agree with you, Jeffrey. We need a Pantheon radio, and we'll see if that wish comes true. So much love to you, Pantheon. I appreciate you too, Leah. Thank you so much, my good friend. Jeffrey, I shouted you out, AB, on Tony and Mass Life about how you get up for pre-market and then take a nap during trading hours. I wonder if they responded to you, but if they did, let me know what they said. But if they didn't, it is what it is. I do most of the times. If you're a day trader, most of your day trading, like your best interests, in my opinion, will be in the pre-markets. That's when it's much easier to do because you're not competing against so many. When the market opens, oh my God, you have to worry about market maker for certain stocks, got to bring down the stock based on whatever options it has on it, because options can be traded only throughout market hours. So you got a lot more people now involved who didn't have access to pre-market, and now they want to process their sell orders. So if I'm trading stock and I'm day trading in the pre-markets. It's rare that I do it through market hours unless it's something that is ripping abnormally and I'm just trying to ride the wave across from point A to point B and then get out. Doesn't matter how far it goes, just collecting some profits. And then if I'm day trading throughout the market hours, it's going to be all through options. I don't do any rarely do any stock trading throughout the market hours for day trading unless it was options that I'm playing. So yeah, I play heavy into the SPY. I mess around with the VIX and many other stocks as far as for options throughout the day. And I just, again, day trade it, ride out the waves based on the Greeks for the options. And I make, good money doing so on that. But in as far as for stock investing, I do not do, I rarely do any stock day trading throughout the market hours. It's all through the pre-market or the after hours sometimes. So yeah. What's up, Monty? Yeah, a little bit late. It's fine, but you can watch it now all over again. I was driving, but have been listening for a while. Oh, okay. That's beautiful. Well, thank you. That's an honor for me, Monty. Pantheon Radio is definitely missed. Well, definitely is missed. Eric B, AB, that is who I was talking about. Eric, are you? So you made posts on an older live of my own yesterday with some other weird accounts that I've never seen before. That's if you are the Eric that I know, unless you're a different one as well. And you were bringing back up the whole story with Boss and Blunts and all that stuff. And I've laid out all the details on that on those previous lives. You were saying that I'm protecting someone and all this stuff. You know, I don't brush anything to the side. The whole family knows this. No one is insignificant or too significant for anybody. I'm one of you guys. I'm one of the people. I am extremely humble and I bring myself down to that level. I don't have any political agendas to how to address and all that stuff. So you're saying I'm protecting someone, and now you're saying that's who it was. I'm protecting Pantheon how? What am I protecting Pantheon about? I broke down the whole situation. Pantheon have nothing to do with the whole Boss Blunt's stupidity. So why do you keep saying that's who I'm referring to? If you have evidence to show that someone else did something different to try to implicate AB and his Discord with that madness, please bring it forward. Bring it forward publicly to the people as well. That's the only way I know how to do things. That's literally the only way I know how to do things, is by doing it publicly in front of everyone. I have nothing to hide. When I was wrongfully accused of stupid stuff and my whole Discord was wrongfully talked about and called out names and stuff like that, I didn't back down. You guys saw it. I raged. Yeah, to some that might not be the right way to go about things or whatnot, but that's what it is. What it is. That's the only way I know it. I don't keep anything inside. I don't sit on stuff. Whatever is here and here will be over here on this on my mouth for everyone. And the same person I am at home is the same person I am at work, at my restaurant, the same way I am with people outside and with friends and even on the lives. So please, I'm not trying to open up different chapters on stuff, but if you do have something that you think is a tipping gun and evidence on these individuals, especially you're talking about Pantheon, I'm protecting him. I always protect my friends, no matter what. But for him to, you're alluding to the fact that he is the one who's behind all this stuff or all that stuff with Boss. That's simply untrue, because Boss did and acted all solely on his own. It was a mistake he made on his own channel and he fixed it, but he never came out publicly addressed it. He set out a channel publicly, especially that his ape chat in the think tank. And by doing so, there's something called webhook that's on Discord. So when people who joined from other Discords, especially when it happened from mine, it gave them a prompt before they joined the think tank. It was two people. One of them was in here. It gave them a prompt that if you want to join this, you got to go click that character, that little character that they have in the think tank so they can approve that you're not a bot. But since it was confusing for them, they just backed out of it. And what it did is it webhooked the ape slogan, the ape chat of the think tank slogan to my page. So they were welcome for the free advertisement. All I saw, or all we saw on our Discord, was ape, whatever, think tank, Marcel Havlicek, or whatever it is, the name, and you know, that was the only thing that popped up. So I personally reported it over, and then Pantheon was the person that deleted both, you know, incidents off of him, because I told him so, like, hey, there is some weird connection happening from the think tank. Can you please check in with the think tank, see what they're doing, like check with those mods? He deleted both of them first. It never happened again. He went to talk to them. Apparently, boss went and saw that, oh, he had it set up on an announcement channel. So he took that feature off. And by taking that feature off, there was no more webhooking. And finally, my Discord was free from getting the free banner from free advertisement banner of the think tank. There was no Homeland Security information being taken or whatever. And everybody knows that by now. But the only difference is that when boss found out his mistake on that, his own doing, it was all initiated from his think tank. He went and turned off that feature, and instead of coming out publicly and fix what he said, doesn't matter what I said about him, because he addressed me in a wrong manner. I had every right to go about it my way. But real men, they will come out and address their fault, but he didn't. So I let it go. I'm not going to keep, barking at the wrong tree and saying, hey, come out, be a man, do what's right. So amongst all that, I'm not protecting anyone who rightfully does not, deserve the protection. I will protect all my friends, all my brothers, all my sisters, each single one of you people in here, besides any shills that's amongst the ranks. Yeah, I will go above and beyond for Pantheon. Yeah, I will go above and beyond for each single one of you guys in here. If somebody was to talk bad about you guys out, you can fact check me on this. There was once upon a time, I remember it was Jeff Nickel. I don't forget any of you guys. Jeff Nickel seen Future Whale apparently shilling somewhere in other content creator pages. I found that hard to believe because Future Whale was always a great gentleman and represented himself well in my channel. So I said, maybe that's true somewhere else, but it wasn't. At the end of the day, he's good over here, so I'm going to stand by my friend. And we squashed it right there, and both gentlemen became friends as far as I know. Now, any of you guys in here, even you, Eric, Jeffrey, Monty, each single one. Now, if I go through the names, we won't even stop. Mikey, everybody, each single one, Adrian, all that. I will protect any of you guys, because what are we if we don't protect each other? We are a family. But not someone that rightfully doesn't deserve to be protected for. I don't collude on wrongdoing. If my own father is wrong, I will be against him. I will tell him you're wrong. And as far as I know, nobody's here as my father. So you can only imagine at that point. I'm going to stand in front of the Lord Almighty one day and tell him about each single instant I took place in. If I covered something up or lied about something or I had ill intentions about something, as I'm even advertising to you guys here, the reason why many of you always say, AB, you're extremely too real sometimes, or you speak like we're speaking sitting next to each other and real, it's because every single word that comes out of my mouth, I'm going to be asked and judged about it when Judgment Day comes about. So I think about that. That's why I always tell people I'm invested more in the afterlife than in this life, because this is a transitionary life that transitions. Again, this is my faith. I'm not implying it on anybody else, but this is how I go about my life. Therefore, this is why I act and do the things I do and say the things that I say. Monty, then it will be done. Good, Eric. I look forward to that. Thank you, Monty. Yes, always rock strong we are. Thank you for clarifying that, AB. You're welcome, Eric. That is what I was looking for. Well, I'm glad that you found it. Yeah, I'm glad that you found it. Leah, unlike them, you did look out for me. Thank you. Leah, you don't even have to mention it. This is, like I said, I think about the Lord Almighty at all times. So therefore, that's why I act the way that I act in every instant. Not to put you on the spot, Leah, but Leah was one of the individuals that were wrongfully implicated and previously was even let go from the think tank. I had an amazing conversation with Leah that that apparently it came to my attention from the think tank at the time before we started the beef thing. You know, this sounds like the days of our lives now, unfortunately, but they come to my attention from some mods in the think tank and said that, hey, we have kicked out Leah, this amazing Leah, unfortunately, because they anticipated or thought that she was someone else. I won't say who that someone else is, because that someone else, I think, is someone that also needs the help. So anyways, they thought that she was a shill and therefore kicked her out of the think tank. I asked them when they told me to, they came to me and told me to kick her out of the AB Investments Discord as well. AB doesn't go with things like that. I personally have to make sure your intent is ill or you're a shill in order for me to go ahead and proceed with, you know, at least letting you go out of the out of the Discord or marking you as a shill. So I went ahead and actually called Miss Leah, and boy was I very very honored with the conversation that I had with Miss Leah, an amazing individual, 2 kids, not literally like the best you could ever ask for or hope for into an individual. I was very honored, ma'am, to have spoken to you. And when I knew instantly that you are a real person, you're not a fake, you're not a shill, you're not all that, we kept it, you know, 100% ever since. And in fact, I remember when you were telling me that you yourself have helped push the think tank and Boss's channel to many fellow medical Patreons, your teammates, your co-workers, all of them in their lunch breaks were watching Boss's lives and videos because of you. And unfortunately, they kicked you out, you know, without even verifying what, for whatever reasons, they were thinking that you were a shill or all that. They didn't even have a particular reason. They just thought that you were a different individual. But how? I don't even know. Apparently, they did an investigation, and their investigation did not include contacting you. And my investigation was simple. I called you, you picked up, we spoke, we knew who you were. You were not the individual there we were implicating that you were. And ever since, it's been the same. They later told me, so just so that I won't be hiding something from you, by the way, Leah, this is for you. They later did tell me they took off the ban on you from the think tank. So if you ever want to join the think tank again, you can feel free to go for it again. You're not banned on the banned list anymore. Again, I'm just a prophet here that's sending you the message that they relayed to me back then. But yeah. So, Miss Leah, it was simple investigation. I just contacted you. I wouldn't call it standing up for you because, again, standing up requires a lot more doing. Like, in my definitions, in my book, standing up for someone is much, 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 much louder and much bigger than even that. But that's the smallest of ways that I would go about with people. Even and the funny thing is, I didn't even know you at the time. I didn't even know you at all at the time. So I could have easily went along with what was being told to me, but I that's just not how I go. I don't go with the waves. People can't give me words, and that doesn't mean because they are who they are to me, that means I go with it. Like I said, even if it's my own father and he's wrong, I will fact check him. I will tell him you're wrong. Because when I'm standing in front of the Lord Almighty one day, one moment, my father is not going to be standing in the way. He's not going to be answering for my doings and my sins. So it's the least I can do, Leah. I'm very proud that you are with us, and hopefully we will celebrate all together, the whole family, the whole movement, just the way that I see it, and even beyond when the squeeze and the MOAS takes place. Jeffrey says, you used to call me daddy. That didn't come out right. Well, damn right it didn't come out right. But it's okay. You're up there in that age, Jeffrey. Bing, bing. Another key is if you want sing in the karaoke lounge, you're not being real. Well, you know how that went, Jeffrey. You can't even say nothing. You yourself. Colin S. No, but you are no longer going to hell, just like that, bro. Well, I sure do hope so, man. I pray every day for that. I pray every day for that. You just missed my homo comments. Hi, guys. That sucked. Oh, the doctor? How did that go, brother? Leah, I'm no shell. I'm a nothing to Boss Blunt, but I'm a child of God that hold just as much as they do. I know that. I know that, and I believe that. You have nothing to prove to nobody, Leah. You have nothing to prove to nobody. It's so crazy how this movement have brought to notice many individuals. And it's also very discouraging and unfortunate to know that this movement literally created these individuals, and it's getting to their heads as they are primetime Hollywood celebrities. Whatever, may the Lord give. I don't ever want, even my worst enemy, I will never wish on them that they experience catastrophic failure. Failure is very hard on a human, but it's necessary in life sometimes in order to understand winning and success, true success. And it's so crazy to see how this movement brought many individuals out, and now they're out acting all Saudi Arabian prince. Stay humble, my loved ones. Tell Doc, nothing changed, huh? No, definitely not. Leah, I respect you for what you did, and God knows who you and what you are. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it, Leah. Now, don't make me blush. I can't believe how it's always shitty. NYP Universal talk. AB, do you think ape create to rob retail? NYP Universal, have you been a part of this live stream? Please go listen to the rest of it. I don't think so, but I explain in details why I don't think so. You can definitely I know it's a little bit longer one, but you can put it on faster pace if you need to. I don't have any problem with anything. As long as people get access to the info and what I'm trying to put out there, that's all that matters. But yeah, my answer is I don't think that it was created so that it can rob the retail investors of their squeeze. Jeffrey, my DD and you're stealing it. It should be our DD and spread it how you will. No homo, Jeffrey. I don't know where your mind is, but all this spreading and all this stuff is I don't trust it anymore. Last two messages go together. Oh, okay. I can't believe how it's always my. Oh my God. Typical cowboy fans. That's how they behave in public. All right, my loved ones. I will give a few more moments to see if there's any questions. Besides that, I don't want to hold you much longer. We've been on for how long now? What? A better part of wow, an hour and a half, over almost 2 hours. Jeffrey, I scrolled up and saw your comment. There is way more than you're being told. Yes, I have proof and receipts. Well, tell Doc, I want to see it too. Then at that point, please, you have my all my all the ways to contact me. So I'm glad that you're back now. So please first update me on your health at your earliest convenience, and maybe you can tell me also what else that you have that could bring things out to light. Jeffrey, you're making AB blush. That's what an older brother does, huh? Mikey J, thank you, AB, for your time. Appreciate you. Thank you for yours, Mikey. I appreciate everything you do for the movement, for me as well, brother. Thank you for being a wonderful mod as well. Veronica, you are a humble person, AB. You are a gift from God. Well, I don't think of it like that. I think that every person is a gift from God. But the biggest gift of all is life and nature and the beauty that we see around us every day, and the chance that God gives us to constantly every day have an opportunity to make it into his heavens. Every day is a test. So that's another opportunity every day we wake up to prove our case and make a better case for why we should go to his heavens. Again, all my opinions here, my outlook on things. It's not portrayed up on anybody else. But thank you, Mrs. Chase. Appreciate the kind words. Oh, you're just jealous of our defense. May God bless you as well, Mikey. Peace out, Colin. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate everything you do for the family as well. Thanks, AB. I told you we would be ROFL in the life. Well, I wanna give out the most important and the biggest shout out to all the mods I have here. You guys are all amazing brothers and sisters. Thank you so much of mine. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you so much for being the best. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your lives to, be a part of this and spend it with me and with the rest of the family. And also, I want to say thank you to all the people that have stopped by, all the family members that have watched through and heard me go through all this and all the reactions and everything. And I pray to the Lord Almighty for nothing but the best health for each and single one of you, and wealth, and whatever your heart desires. And hopefully you'll get nothing but amazing news throughout your whole life. Whatever it is that you want to hear, whatever it is that you want to see, hopefully you get that. And more importantly, hopefully we get our MOAS here soon, in the near future. So with that being said, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you again. Thank you, Highway Sushi. It was a nice stream because of all of you guys. Much love to all of you guys, and we're gonna end this on a song. What song do you guys want to play? Let's see. What's a great ending song that we can roll on? Because we have to remember, keep the stream up a little bit for the chat for what's his name, for Frank, IP'd in Kenny's pool. Thank you, Monty. I appreciate you. I'm feeling good. That's the song, Mikey. Wake me when September ends. Is this it?
You know how I feel.
Or how about some old school stuff? I hear you go and you say you want your freedom. What you love, what you love, what you love. Come in, baby, go. The heartbeat of your girl. And what you love. And what you have. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when it's raining. Baby, baby, come and baby, go. Then a winner says you know. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Let it come in, baby, go. Much love, AB Investments. Oh, not that one. You guys remember that one? All right, people. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend.